Yes, I'm filming on. I just finished watching the game. Dead set. I don't know, an hour ago. Did a live with Matty Peverill from Steelers TDU Touch Down Under. Wasn't the best game. It's now your Sunday morning in America. It wasn't the best game. And I do want to do this video around winners and losers and look to certain players, plays, you know, things like that with the team and how they could have done better. This is only preseason. It's just the beginning. Really different to last year with Kenny Pickett in terms of the overall hype. I still do think if the question in the chat comes or the question in the comments below happens to be who is going to be quarterback number one, yes, I still believe it's going to be quarterback number one being Russell Wilson. Now, here's the thing, though. Yesterday or a few hours ago, in this winners and losers recap, first of all, I need a name. I need a better name for winners and losers. I don't know if I'm going to go with winners and losers. Everyone around YouTube land does that. Who won, who lost. I'm trying to think of ideas that we can call maybe like legends and scrubs. I don't know. Maybe something like that. Who was a legend? Who was a scrub? Who was a terrible player? Who was someone who outstanding player? Who was the MVP, the 46 of the game MVP? I might try and do this stuff like that. I want to reflect back on the game, what happened. And, we talk about winners and losers, all that kind of stuff. I might need a better name than just that. Overall, the game itself, pretty piss poor, pretty terrible. Wasn't that fun to watch. It was fun to have beers with you guys, be in the chat, do the post-game live with Maddie. That was fun. That was awesome. I appreciate that. It was a good time. Thank you for everyone in the chat, too, who donated the memberships or the coin that goes my way. It's all going to the Pittsburgh Berg Fund that I'm going to over the Christmas, and I'm going to watch the Steelers versus Chiefs. In terms of the game, pretty boring. Wasn't the greatest. Russell Wilson, a few series. He had, I think, from memory, like 4 out of 8 or 5 out of 8, like 60 yards. Justin Fields was quite exciting, but he couldn't get in the rhythm of the pocket. And the furthest pass we saw in the field was like 25 yards from Fields and 12 yards from Russell Wilson. However, no alarm bells yet. No alarm bells yet. It's preseason. I'm sure they can work things out. I think Steel Nation will go through the ups and downs in preseason and think this guy's going to suck forever. And I want to talk about some losers shortly. And I'm just going to highlight a few players now, like Broderick Jones, didn't look the best. O-line didn't look the best. Zach Frazier makes another start. Looks like he's going to have, center reps going forward into the season versus the Falcons. Troy Falatano was out. There was like individual players, and Steelers were doing some good things and then also some really bad things. But if you look to the score, 9-3. It's preseason, right? So maybe last year with their overall hype of Kenny Pickett, and we're, oh my goodness, we're going to go to the Super Bowl. Maybe it's like the exact opposite. Maybe we're going to remain humble. The players, of course, have to get better. Offensive line looked terrible. So let's go into some offensive losers and stuff like that. Right, I'll give you some winners, offensive losers, good things, bad things as we go. Okay, offensive line. Broderick Jones, loser. You loser, unfortunately. I even feel bad saying that way, but I think Broderick Jones didn't have the best game. So tonight, bit of a scrub. Nothing was working his direction. He got pushed around like a bloody pinball machine. He was on ice skates. He just didn't make any good reps at right tackle. And that also is going to raise the alarm and raise a question. Should the Steelers put him at left tackle? End this experiment. Should they just go and put him to left tackle and give him reps there and see how you go? Then Dan Moore can be behind that. And then you make that Troy Falatano plays right tackle. That's something that needs to be discussed, I think, as we go into the season, and it needs to be looked at. Whereas Mike Tomlin and Arthur Smith and was out there, got to figure it out. He looks really awful at that position. Not saying he's a bust. I'm not saying that he's the worst player on the team. Not saying that Broderick Jones is a bad player. I'm saying for the example last night in the game and the reps that he played, looked pretty bad. Wilson had no time to throw. He was a sitting duck back there, scrambling, running around, getting sacked, and throwing incomplete passes. And the best pass we saw him throw was to Freiermuth, right? So my first loser on the match is Broderick Jones. I think he looked pretty terrible. I think he looked pretty bad. My second loser, I'm going to have to give it to him, is Russell Wilson. There was a lot of hype, a lot of anticipation towards this game today or yesterday. as you guys are waking up in your, I don't know, 11 a.m., 12 lunchtime, whenever I release it. A lot of hype around Wilson and me being one of the fans that I want to see him do well. I want to see him bounce back from Denver. And I don't think we saw that. I don't think we saw him get comfortable in the pocket. I don't think we saw him go through his reads or I saw there was miscommunication with Najee and Austin in certain plays where they had to do timeouts. We saw some false starts with Darnell. We saw some things like that. So I'd say, yeah, offensive line was a loser with Broderick Jones. At the same time, I think at this point and for this one game, Russell Wilson was a loser or a scrub and didn't play good football. We will find a certain name for that too. Who else could you really pick on the offensive line? It was most of the guys on the front. Nothing really stood out. Daniels and Zach Frazier didn't do overall the best job in my opinion, and we all saw it. It wasn't the best game from that. They really couldn't run the ball. Najee Harris he could be a loser too if you want to. Najee Harris had the carry of 2 times. Warren, I think he went out with injury, so hopefully he's okay. He could be deemed a loser as well in this game. Pretty much most of the offensive line and receivers. Pickens made a good catch on the sideline. Mike Tomlin challenged it. Ref said no, he wasn't in. So to a certain degree, you know what? It was a good try, but didn't happen. The only real one big breakout I saw was Justin Fields when he threw the football to Des Fitzpatrick. And I think he's going to make the team at that 5 position. I think he's fighting with Scotty Miller to get there. I think Roman Wilson comes back, hopefully, maybe not next week, but maybe into the season. But overall, the offense looks pretty bad. But there's no time to worry just yet. Don't worry just yet. The season's not over. It's only beginning. But those are the blokes I saw on offense who were losers in that sense. Were there any winners? I'd probably say maybe you give a winner's coin or a thank you to Des Fitzpatrick. I think he was okay. I think Frymouth with a 1 catch, he was okay. Connor Haywood, I think he would be a winner in this sense of the game where he made a few catches and he jumped over the defense. Scotty Miller made some moves too, so he might be a winner. But overall sense, the team didn't score points. The offense sucked. Preseason football, most of them are losers. If you're going to say it, then most of them are losers. Not good. All right, let's go to the defense. Now, defense, let's go to some more positive talk straight away. And we're going to go towards that is Herbig. And I think Herbig was a true winner. I think he got a sack and a half. I think he's explosive out there, playing that outside linebacker rotational piece, being the third guy behind TJ and Highsmith. That's going to be fun to watch going into the season versus the Falcons and what kind of role he plays at outside linebacker and also what role he plays in terms of teams. Now, teams will get to last. If you teams will get to the very, very last. But in that sense, I think Herbig played some good snaps on defense and also teams where he's making tackles. You need that bloke there to be teams and defense in a rotational piece. Herbig is a winner for me. Another winner for me was DeMarvin Leal. I thought his pursuit to the football was awesome. I like some of his spin moves and move out of the way. I'm just push you out of the way style. I like the way he played. I like the way that Montravius Adam played a little bit. I like the way that not a huge fan of what I saw from what's the other bloke? What's his name? Loudermilk. I thought he was kind of average today. I thought Ogunjobi played some moves. Like Keanu Benton played some moves too. I thought he was pretty checked in, pretty fired up for a preseason game. Well, he's a bit of a winner. So D-line did okay. We didn't see Cameron Hayward. There were some winners there. In terms of the defense, so run defense into the third, fourth quarter, there was like non-existent. The fellas weren't checking in, showing up and hitting him and probably, maybe like the gap assignments or getting involved in the run defense. It was pretty ordinary to that sense. But that's why they're backups. That's why it's preseason. So in terms of that, I'd say that's a not a red flag, but there's things that need to be moved and corrected in practice or more preseason games or going into the Falcons. Things need to get better for sure. Defensive line and the middle linebackers. Mike Robinson was one of the blokes that stepped up to be a winner. I thought he was hitting pretty hard. We saw Quinn Roberts in there for a limited time, but you can't really see too much in 3 series. JPJ was in there too. Same thing. We know he's going to be very special coming the season. And like I was talking to Matty too yesterday or today, I was talking to Matty. I was like, well, look, we can say today sucked, or yesterday sucked. It's a bad game. It's preseason, but we're still getting ready for the Falcons. We're still 0-0. It's not the end of the world. Had someone comment before and say, "Well, Russell Wilson's a bust. He's with the same washed up Russell from Denver. He played 4 snaps. Can we have a little bit of leeway? Should there be some cause of concern? Yes, but are we that worried because we lost the game 9-3 against the Bills? No, not overly. By the way, I enjoyed the day. I thought the day was fun. I had a few sherbets. I had a few beers. I really do enjoy doing the lives. And next week, I'm not too sure if I'm going to do a live because it'd be my 3 a.m. and I got to go to work at 8:45. So we'll figure that out. But I enjoyed the day. The day was fun. The day was fun doing, play-by-play, catching up with everyone. Have over 39, 40 people in the chat. And everyone's coming from all over the shop. We had one lady, Dina, from Korea. That's crazy. Pittsburgh native. And then now she lives in Korea. She gave $5 and it's kind of cool. It's cool to see Steel Nation stepping up and saying hello in the chat. That's Steel Nation Oz. By the way, too, we did as well. I know it's really long into the episode, but we did as well hit 2,500 subs on the channel. So it's one huge milestone. So thank you to everyone out there in Steel Nation Australia and HDU represent. 2,501 subs. That's a milestone. Been working hard this channel for like 3 or 4 years now. You guys know what's going on. I'm not stopping. I'm keep going. I want to see this channel do fantastic. I want to see it go far. And I also want to see our Steelers go far too. So one big shout out to everyone who's a sub and who spends their time and comments and watches the channel. And overall, you're a part of the community. You're a part of the fun. And all we want to do is to see our Steelers win. So one big fireworks to everyone from myself here. I'm the only one here, really, at Steel Nation Oz. So one big fireworks, and thank you guys to out there in Steel Nation Oz. Alrighty, so where do we go from here? Before I do that, teams. We'll do teams, then where do we go from here? Teams. Teams looked good in terms of Cameron Johnson kicking the football down the field, 64 yards, 61 yards. Looks awesome, looks great. I am a little bit worried, though. I'm a bit worried about the gunner situation. I'm not talking about Gunnar Olszewski. I'm a little bit worried that we don't have I don't think the Steelers have a plan at gunner. Right now, they've been featuring in Des Fitzpatrick, and I think it was Darius Rush on the other side too. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. It might have been someone else, but I feel like they haven't got a plan at gunner. And a lot of times we saw the gunner was doubled by 2 blockers and pushed out of bounds. That was Fitzpatrick or the other guy on the other side. And then the guys had to clean up and they were allowing punt returns. And Danny Smith is chewing his gum harder than ever. I feel like for teams right now at the moment, kickoff return looks okay. They're all you got Wilson, you got Haywood, Killebrew in there. By the way, shout out to the Killebrew got an interception. So kickoff return looks fine. Punt return for Austin, I think he's moving around and finding different holes and ways to get in and out. I think he's going to be our punt returner number 1. He's going to be Austin. And kickoff return, they still haven't given a shot to Patterson yet. But I think they're giving John Reese Plumlee and some of the running backs a go. Shamklin, I think he had a go. And yeah, I'm a little bit worried. About kickoff return. Sorry, about the punt returning gunners. Now, can Danny Smith fix that? Let's hope so. Because Johnson is booming the punt. He's booming the punt all the way over. But I'm a little bit worried about what the gunners on the outside. If 82 Fitzpatrick makes a team, he has to be a gunner or something like that and play team reps. So same, for instance, with Darius Rush. If he's going to make the team, he needs to be a gunner as well. I feel like these blokes is getting pushed to the outside and there's no way to get back in the field. You can draw penalties and stuff like that. And of course, I can't remember who the other one was. It might have been someone else, but I know for sure it was Fitzpatrick and maybe it was someone else on the other side. I thought it was Darius Rush. Whoever it was, though, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They need to figure something out in terms of the gunner. Chris Boswell missed a field goal. He will be fine. He got one as well. Snapping wise, I think then Christian 46 was fine. Punt wise, I think it was fine with the punting itself. Kickoff return looked okay. I'm still not a fan. I'm not a fan of the kickoff return. I think it's stupid. I think overall it should be scrapped next year. Go back to normal, where you field the kickoff return in the end zone, you run it out, and you have the guys running down the field and fighting each other on different levels. Not a fan of the kickoff return. But team itself, yes, they need to figure out. They need to figure out some solutions at gunner or something, because you don't want to give up too much space in that sense. But yeah, okay. Overall, last thought. Lastly, in all that what I said in the 16, 14, 15 minutes I said, and everything I said, going forward, hopefully they can figure these things out. Last year, what happened with our Steelers, my team, your team, it's not the end of the world in that sense. What do they need to do better? They've got to clean up the O-line issues with the penalties. They've got to clean up the running game in terms of getting the push up front. They've got to get, I think, Russell Wilson and Fields, more protection and time to find receivers downfield and passing the ball over the sticks. We saw a lot of checkdowns. We want to see the football getting advanced over 14, 17 yards, 20-yard plays. If that's working in Calvin Austin, we want to see stuff like that happen. And this team is definitely just playing bare bones football and vanilla offense. Now, I'm not a coach, but what we saw yesterday was pretty much just bare bones. That's all it really was, a bare bones. And it's not that exciting. That's why we only scored 3 points. You're not seeing big flashy plays or anything like that, or getting the tight ends involved too much. You saw the nice play to Connor Hayward, which was fantastic. Play action pass. Fields went out. They found Connor Hayward. Boom. See you later. 10, 11 yards. Sweet. Great play. You see Fields getting involved in running out of the pocket. Amazing throw to Fitzpatrick. Almost got picked off, tipped a bit. Then Fitty Pat called it, and it was in bounds. Great. But you're not really seeing any real consistency on that sense, in that terms of this offense that you'd hope to see. You hope to see them gel together early, but maybe it's going to take a lot of time. But for me personally, not too worried. Not too worried just yet. Maybe 6-7 weeks in, yes. If we're losing games and we can't score points and it's like the Matt Canada offense, yes, I'm very, very worried for the extended future and also the season. But right now, I think just preseason, you work through the motions. Hopefully, Wilson gets maybe a series or two next week. I don't know. And then hopefully he's ready for season game 1, right? Versus the Falcons. It's coming soon. 3 weeks' time. It'll be myself watching the TV up here from 3 a.m., watching Wilson throw footballs. And yeah, you need to start checking in and waking up. You have to wake up. Wake up! You have to wake up. But from a sense of, am I panicking? Is the world over? Nope. Not over yet. It's only just beginning in that sense. But the team needs to improve on a lot of factors. I think the health of the football players too, like Wilson or Warren, will definitely give us an indication if they're going to play next week in preseason. I think they might be out. Do you go and play Troy Fato? I'm not too sure. Maybe get him ready. Do you go and play Warren? Maybe not. Maybe get him ready for week 1. Do you go and play Wilson? If he suffered a concussion, maybe not. But there's a lot of guys, I think, fighting for roles in certain spots, like third running back, stuff like that. Look, there's not time. Is it time to hit the panic button yet? No, not over time. Woo! Anyways, guys, thank you for checking out Steelers Nation Australia. It's kind of my rundown, my winners and losers list, legends, scrubs. But overall, it's preseason football. We're 0-2 in preseason. Last year, the Steelers went 3-0 in preseason. I don't think I'm that too worried. I think once it comes time to TJ Watt and Minka and Cameron Hayward on the field, Highsmith and Queen and Roberts, and rotating, hopefully a healthy Wilson, and we have Deshaun Elliott working together, Dante Jackson, JPJ on our defense, and Najee getting more than 2 reps and Warren getting more than 1 rep, I think we'll be fine. I think we'll chip away and work into the season. It feels like the alarm bells are going off right now, but it's all smoke and mirrors. It's this preseason football. That's all it is. It's preseason football. Whew. All right. Steel Nation, I'll see you guys later.